The day I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I crumpled at being told. All I could think about was my children, who were 7 and 11 at the time. My husband and I walked out of the hospital and sat in the car. He turned to me and asked me, "What would you like to do?" "Go for a walk," I said. We drove to Duffstones Reservoir. As we walked together, I took a deep breath and decided I wasn't going to let this get to me, and I would do all I could do to fight it.
Calling out digits as they set up the machines. I was on suite 8, and there was usually a sign hanging there saying 30 minutes late. And I was counting the buzzes. Was that 4 or was that 3? What I thought though was my hospital number. With it being 2010, there were 668 before me.
The results are back. The consultant is here with the nurse at her side. How does she do it? Sadness every day. She's so kind, so calm, so reassuring. I hope she doesn't let others take her kindness as a weakness.
Radiotherapy Me is about raising awareness of radiotherapy and research, encouraging more people to get involved in research and getting more people talking about radiotherapy.
As a researcher, the aim of my work is to try and help people with cancer, and obviously I talk to lots of people in clinic, but it's a very pressured setting, and so having a chance to chat to people, get ideas, find out what's really important to them, and so we can make sure our research is based on things that really matter.
We've been exploring what it means to have radiotherapy, or maybe treat people or research around radiotherapy through creative writing techniques and storytelling techniques.
Libraries are at the heart of the community, and we know that we can provide a welcoming space for people to come and talk freely about these sort of issues as well, and getting away from the clinical side and people actually telling their stories to one another. This is what I've experienced, these are the side effects I had. It is really important.
So here today we're actually finishing off our artwork, which is to represent the beginning, middle and end of radiotherapy and how we feel about it in different aspects of it, I suppose. So I've got a bucket on mine because it wasn't part of my bucket list to get a tattoo, which I needed from my radiotherapy. And so we talk about what the process is, but also how it affected us and how it made us feel and the impact on our lives and our families and stuff like that. I enjoyed doing that. It's been something very different.
I cannot draw for toffee or anything, but you know, the actual artwork I've created, I'm actually quite impressed by it.
In the workshops, I've taken them through lots of the techniques that I use as a writer, and different techniques using images and metaphor, and to kind of move beyond the obvious around somebody's cancer journey or story, and kind of really looking for moments of humour or sadness, or kind of where kind of different ideas might come together to tell a really kind of engaging story.
What I want to come across is, well, basically, I've faced one of my greatest fears. It doesn't have to be as bad as people really think it is. I hope that comes across.
This is the culmination of several weeks of workshops that patients and researchers have been taking part in to create stories and artwork about their experiences of radiotherapy. And there's a real kind of buzz, and so many people are talking about what they've heard. And this isn't the end of the project, this is really the start of the conversation. We want to get more people talking about radiotherapy.
All of the stories actually have given me a completely different angle on what I think about patients and what they go through with their treatment, even from colleagues who I would have thought would have had similar viewpoints to me. The important thing for me was to do it somewhere like Oldham. I come to Oldham once a week to do a clinic. A lot of my patients come from this area, and I do think it's an area that sometimes gets overlooked.
Seeing the transformative kind of effect this project's had, even just in 2 months on these people, has just been phenomenal. Has really kind of cemented my belief that storytelling can be a really powerful tool for improving health and well-being.
I hope they have an effect on people, not just people who have cancer, but people who are looking after people with cancer, because it's hard to talk about at the time. You're very protective of yourself and the people around you, and you don't want to burden them with how you're feeling.
It's been a process of self-discovery really, which I hope will continue.